Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. You ready? You ready? You ready? I hope you are.
You feel that?
You know, I just feel like I need to like lose some of these pounds. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not fat and shit.
I think we're gonna have to be quiet. Yeah, tell your wife what I did in here. Also kill yourself.
Wow. I love this time of the year, babies. Hey, what's up, everyone, and welcome to the first review for the month of Gorror 2018, my month-long celebration of all things horror. And for the first half of October, I will be doing nothing but reviewing one horror franchise that has endured over its 40 years of being around. Of course, I have to review every single movie in the Halloween franchise. And of course, we got to start off with the definitive classic horror movie that a lot of people would consider one of the best movies ever made. We got to talk about Halloween. It just got released in 4K. I just rewatched it. I've seen it a bunch of times when I was younger, and it's been a little while since I've seen it. So I was so happy to go and rewatch the original movie again, especially since we got that new movie coming out, which has the exact same title, which is annoying. But I'm very excited to talk about this one because it's been a long time. It's been 40 years since it came out, okay, on a $300,000 budget, and it became a huge, huge hit and a classic. So 40 years later, does it hold up? Let's talk about it, man. After 40 years of John Carpenter's Halloween being around, you would expect it to feel a little dated, especially since the movie itself had a very small budget, like $300,000. They didn't have too much to work with. They had to actually work around their very small budget in very smart ways that you see in the movie, and I really appreciate that. It really does go to show you that a budget isn't always, you know, a sure thing that your movie's going to be good. Like, you also need the talent, and the movie definitely had the talent. And after 40 years, it actually aged extremely well. It is a masterpiece of not only suspense, because there is a lot of really creepy and suspenseful moments in this movie, but it is a masterpiece in simplicity. So many horror movies nowadays like over-explain the backstory of the villain, or have way too many characters and so much dialogue and so much time just people looking at stuff, you know? And there is moments like that in this, but here it's suspenseful because it feels like it could really happen. It could, like, a guy could just go crazy and start murdering people in the safety of your neighborhood. Like, you feel like you're safe. Oh, everybody's having fun, Halloween, all the kids are out, it's all good. But then one guy just decides to snap and goes after you. Why? He's crazy. I mean, that is an explanation of why some people do the things they do, is because they're crazy. And it really is effective here, especially with the amazing cinematography from Dean Cundey, where you really get the mood of fall. Like, you see leaves everywhere, and you see the slow movements of just the camera and stuff. And there's times where we see through the eyes of Michael, or we're even following right behind Michael as he's just slowly walking, and it's so suspenseful and just beautifully shot that you really buy into this world because it feels real. It really does. You feel like you're there, and you can't say that about a lot of the Halloween movies, especially the later ones. But here it just feels like a real life thing. So that's why this movie, just being so simple, it's a very simple story, very simple premise, really does work, and it still holds up to this day. I mean, the story itself for Halloween is so simple. If this is a movie you think you can have like a long, free-form discussion about, I mean, I guess you could, but it'll be more about its technical merits than its story, because the story is so simple. It really is. We follow 6-year-old Michael Myers as we follow through his eyes with amazing cinematography and camera work, by the way. Which, by the way, they actually had to pretty much tape a mask onto the camera to have it look like we're looking through the eye holes of Michael Myers' mask. That's how small the budget was and how effective that small budget really was, because it looked like we were actually looking through his eyes. Very well done. But anyway, we look through his eyes as he murders his 17-year-old sister, Judith. Why? We don't know. He just does it. He just starts stabbing. We cut 15 years later as he breaks out of a psychiatric hospital to go back to Haddonfield, Illinois, to go and start murdering again. Why? We don't know why. He's just evil. We even have Sam Loomis, his psychiatrist, that doesn't understand why. He's been studying this kid for 15 years, and he's just evil. Like, for first 8 years, I was trying to fix him, and then the last 7 years, I was trying to lock him away because he is pure evil. Every time I look into his eyes, I just see evil. So he has to stop Michael before Michael starts murdering again. Along the way, we follow Laurie Strode, who's just a regular, normal day girl. She's, you know, she's the innocent one. She's the pure girl who gets caught up into this, and there you go. That is the simple premise and story of Halloween. And because the story is so simple, John Carpenter can tell it extremely well. It's simple, but it's perfectly executed here. Like, again, like I said, Sam Loomis talks about Michael. We don't ever see a scene where Michael and Sam are in a psychiatric ward and he's trying to figure out Michael. Again, Rob Zombie does that, but here we don't see that. We just hear Sam Loomis talk about him, like in a brief scene where, like I said, he talked about how he tried to work with him for 8 years and it didn't work, and then for the last 7, he tried to lock him away. And even little things, like in the beginning when Sam Loomis is going to the psychiatric ward to check on Michael, and he's talking to the policewoman, and you could tell he's scared. He's scared to see this man. Later on, he's shaking with a gun. He's just like, you could tell he's frightened of this man. And it really does a great job of building this character without almost ever seeing him. We only see his face once. This is a 21-year-old man, and we're like, ooh, we're shaken. Like he's like some big, like, hulking figure, this legend. You know, because Sam Loomis does a great job. Donald Pleasance is excellent in here. Every time he talks, you shut up and just listen. It's so good. He's so great, and the story itself is so well written and so well told. Mwah! But now let's get down to Laurie Strode. Laurie Strode is the typical innocent teenage character. She's innocent. She's the, I guess, the virgin character. She is the final girl, I guess, of the movie. But what I really love about Laurie Strode is that Jamie Lee Curtis plays her in a way that you don't see too many characters like this played. She is very smart. She doesn't do too many dumb mistakes. She has a sense of nobility to her. Like, when she is around other kids, when she's babysitting people, it's all about protecting the kids first. Like, later on in the movie, when Michael Myers starts going crazy and starts murdering people, she makes sure to save the kids first. She's, what, 18 in this movie? And she is just all about, like, I have to save the kids first. I have to do that. So there's something about her that immediately clicks with you, and you're like, this character I like. Even the, like, little things she does, like, she talks to herself sometimes, and it's just little like quips that she just throws out in the air to herself with nobody there that really makes you warm up to this character. And she is great. She is so good in this role. If I have any problems with the acting, though, I would say some of the side actors, some of the supporting cast, not so great. But that's probably my only complaint. I mean, the cinematography is excellent in this movie. The acting from the two main leads is perfect. Michael Myers is a menacing figure that a lot of times just stands there and looks, but it's just a great looking movie, and it makes you feel like you're actually there, that it's perfect. They're like a crazy guy like this would just stare at you sometimes. It really is a perfect movie if you just want something realistic. If you don't want a ghost jumping out in your face every 5 freaking seconds. Yeah, this is the perfect movie. It really sets a mood. It sets a tone. I mean, even the production design, it just makes you feel like you're in this town. There's even one scene where we're in Laurie's room, and just because of the room, you can see all the stuff in the background, you immediately get Laurie as a character. It's been 40 years since Halloween came out, and it still provides goosebumps. It still makes me creeped out. Just watching Michael behind a tree stalking, you know, him going upstairs slowly, him rising up like freaking The Undertaker. Like, it's great stuff. It really is. And that's why I think this movie in another 40 years will still be perfect and timeless. It's great. It's a great movie. And what I really appreciate is that there's not a lot of 70s in this movie. You know what I mean? It is a movie that was filmed so it could be watched 40 years from now and still be enjoyed, which I cannot say for a lot of horror movies nowadays as well. So overall, Halloween is a fantastic movie. I have to give it a 40 out of 40. Is it the best horror movie ever? Maybe. I don't know. But it is, right now, a great way to start October, let me tell you. So there you go. That is my first review for the Halloween franchise. Of course, I had to start off with Halloween 1, and there you go. So that's it. Thank you. Of course, until next time. Boo! I jump scared you. Bye.